Time for business news with Delano D'Souza, starting out with some business activity contracting in the Eurozone in October.
That's right, Monty. Good evening. The coronavirus pandemic putting the brakes on the Eurozone's recovery. The IHS Market Purchasing Managers Index for the month of October came in at 49.2. That's the lowest level seen in 4 months. In September, the reading came in at 50.4. Now, any reading above 50 signals business activity is expanding, while a level below 50 points means the economy is in contraction. France experienced an increased rate of contraction. The finance ministry estimates nighttime curfews will cost an estimated 2 billion euros. Bruno Le Maire says things are going to get worse before they get better.
Nous avions prévu un trimestre négatif pour le 4e trimestre de 2020. Pourquoi ? Parce que nous savions que l'épidémie pouvait repartir et parce qu'il y a beaucoup d'incertitudes internationales, l'élection américaine et le Brexit. Et de la même manière que je vous dis que le 4e trimestre, nous risquons d'avoir un chiffre de croissance négatif, je vous dis qu'il y aura un fort rebond de l'économie française en 2021.
Now, Britain has signed its first major post-Brexit trade deal with Japan. London has been touting the agreement as proof that Brexit Britain can stand on its own. The deal is expected to boost British trade with Japan by $19.5 billion, and it will make English products like cheddar cheese, pork, and biscuits cheaper in Japan. Aaron Agunke reports.
It's been framed as the UK's first major post-Brexit trade victory. A bilateral pact with Japan negotiated in just a few months over the summer. For the British Trade Secretary, the deal proves the UK will have little difficulty obtaining free trade agreements on its own.
It used to be said that an independent UK would not be able to strike major trade deals, or they would take years to conclude. But today we prove the naysayers wrong with this groundbreaking British-shaped deal that was agreed in record time.
The bilateral agreement, which largely mirrors the existing deal between the European Union and Japan, is expected to boost London's trade with Tokyo by £15 billion per year. The pact removes nearly all Japanese tariffs on British exports to Japan and will remove British tariffs on Japanese cars by 2026. It will also make it easier for British companies to operate in Japan through benefits in several sectors, including the digital, financial services, and food and drink industries. Though Japan openly opposed Brexit prior to the 2016 referendum, Japanese officials now say the new deal will ensure a, quote, seamless transition for bilateral trade in the future.
日英両国が今後とも自由貿易を力強く推進していくというの意思の表れでもあります。
Both sides also say the agreement could pave the way toward the UK joining the Trans-Pacific Partnership. Membership in the regional pact would permit further trade liberalization between the UK and Japan, potentially going beyond the EU-Japan deal.
Time to get a check on the markets next. And all the main indices here in Europe ended the week in positive territory. The FTSE and the CAC 40 here in Paris both closing up the session over 1%. Investors hopeful a stimulus deal can be reached in the United States. Now, over at the close on Wall Street, the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq ended the session up 0.3%. The Dow Jones ending the session marginally in the red. Walmart is suing the U.S. government. The largest retailer in the United States says it's legally being held responsible for the sales of certain opioid drugs. The lawsuit is the latest legal battle linked to the opioid crisis in the country. The widespread abuse has pushed the government to address the problem and hold drug makers accountable. The suit alleges the government's rules are unclear and that pharmacists could not be expected to know when a prescription written by a licensed doctor should not be filled. And finally, for business, French wine exports slumped 18% in the first 8 months of 2020. The coronavirus pandemic, 25% tariffs in the United States, and Brexit are being cited as the main reasons. The biggest decline, the biggest decline seen since 2008 and 2009. Around 40 million euros has been earmarked to cushion the impact for the wine industry here in France. That's it for the business news. I'll hand it back to you.
Okay, thanks a lot, Delano. Tonight.